right, so we're here with Dr. Purnell, great man, definitely with a great message that coincides with the message that here at the Phoenix Paradigm we want to send out to the people, show a different dynamic of how we're perceived in the media. And Dr. Purnell, I'm gonna let him talk about his message and everything in a second, but he definitely coincides with that. Dr. Purnell, I know we're having some difficulties with the media right now, but just give us a little backdrop. Who are you, and who's Dr. Bruce Purnell?
Okay, so well, I'm a fifth generation Washingtonian first. Like my family goes back to like the starting like 1820 in DC, and my fourth great grandfather Absalom Shad owned a restaurant in six and Pennsylvania Avenue. And
Okay.
after Nat Turner's rebellion, it was a riot in DC where a lot of the black businesses and schools and other parts of the community were burnt down and for no reason. Like they said, somebody made a lewd comment to a white woman. Anyway, after this stuff happened, man, my grandfather couldn't even sit at the counter of the restaurant that he owned. That's how bad it was. Like, and so it's like, so me, like, so I'm kind of like, and my ancestors were Underground Railroad station masters and conductors. So they were helping freedom seekers, our brothers and sisters that was, brave enough to take a journey to get to freedom, man, to get there, like, and being hunted by slave catchers and just by a system that looked at us as property, not even human beings. So I kind of follow in that legacy, man. Like, I'm a descendant of them. Like I carry the torch for liberation, but I believe in universal healing and, a shared humanity is belief. So it's like, it feels like we've been rerouted, toward the pursuit of paper money. And that, the plantation still remains, but, the paycheck's the new whip. And we act accordingly, like, unfortunately. And as you was talking about the media piece earlier, how we represent it, I feel like a lot of the things we watch, even with us as actors and actresses, if it was in blackface, we'd be protesting. Like, it's that's what it feels like to me. It's like, really the status quo is maintained by the narrative. And the narrative has everything to do with the depiction and the language we use and how we're perceived. And they just pay us to do it now. Like, so we're maintaining this piece. We're asking for racial equity. And, a lot of things don't even make sense to me. Like, I don't, for example, even the racial equity, to use the word race, which was a term that has no biological significance. It was created for the disparity. So to use that in asking for equity, it makes no sense. Like, why don't we have another language to use? Why do we feel we need to use have another chapter in the book of white supremacy? Why can't we have another book? Like, it's just like, it's I don't want another chapter. I don't want another chapter for my children. I don't want them to have to explain why they have to how they had to respond to police so they're not executed, or why they have to, operate a different way. Like, I don't want to have to do that, man. Our children don't deserve it, and it doesn't feel like we're winning out here. Like if we looked at this as a computer program, we probably reformat the hard drive. Absolutely. Because we're at the point that we it's turned on itself. Like, so it's the whatever program that we're on is self-destructing. So anyway, I know it's a whole lot even in an introduction, but that's who I am, man. Like, I'm that psychologist who's dealing with that. And it's like, I know it's my calling. It's we use the term the overground freeway instead of the underground railroad, because underground railroad was physical slavery. So the overground freeway is about mental liberation. the same way though, the same strength. Like we want to find stations, we want pathways, we want, you know, brave spaces where we can actually be and on a pathway to releasing this past trauma and moving to liberation and freedom and joy. Like, so joy is the destination in this piece. If if life is about responding and avoiding trauma, then that's surviving. Like, and we're still surviving and we expect to be resilient. And we use resilient like it's a journey, and it's not.
Mhm.
Resilient is a tool to get to joy. It's not the destination to be strong enough to endure the next traumatic episode. Like, so it can't really be that. So trying to change the narrative. Like, yeah, so, you know, changing the narrative, giving us another language to use, a love language, like, you know, a respect language, a joy language, a transformative language. You know, I don't even want to use the words from that past piece because it's all responding to trauma. Like, I don't want to be the victim of trauma as, and like, that's my legacy, like, you know, responding to trauma.
Right, right. Definitely can, correspond with that, resonate with that. Something you said about, using the word survival. A lot of times that's a big thing in our community. We just, every day is a fight for survival and everything, but we don't understand that there's a whole other concept to living, and it's called thriving. When
Yeah,
you
that's right.
thrive, you making the most out of your life. You know what I'm saying? You evolving, you pushing the narrative, you pushing the story forward. It's like we're stuck in the same cycle. And, like you said, we got to change that station. We got to move forward. So, I mean, I know you said a lot in the beginning of your intro, and I loved it. Also, like if there's any more background history to you, Dr. Purnell, Dr. Bruce, how did you get
Yeah,
started
that's
on your journey?
yeah. So like, you know, sports was probably my way out, like, and sports and probably reading. So ended up going to playing basketball at Bowie State,
Hey,
and
that's you.
I actually just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame at Bowie.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I was a bulldog myself.
Oh yeah, man, best times of my life, man, at Bowie, man.
Absolutely.
225 Holmes Hall, man. That was my spot.
Hey, that's
So yeah, man. So that piece went to University of Cincinnati on American Psychological Association Fellowship, right? So I went there to study psychology. Uh, I finished at University of Lagos in Nigeria, man. I was studying resilience. And I said, I can't study resilience without going to Africa if it's African American resilience. So I went there, I lived there 5 years and changed my life basically. And because like a lot of times when it comes to achievement, we believe that it's money based. And so the thought was, well, if I go and I stay in a village that really has no money, no running water, scarce electricity, achievement motivation should be low. But it was so high, man. Like the children in the village, man, was excited about learning, wanted to go to school. Wake me up in the morning, man. We walking a couple of miles, man, to go to a little a shack basically, but that was school. They cherished it. They wanted to learn. So I'm like, it's something else that happens to us here. It's
mm,
not money. It's an idea, man. It's something they infuse into our psyches that, you know, we tune out. Like, you know, when I sometimes when I go to in schools and with young brothers and sisters and say, look, like we're gonna read. Oh, that we're gonna read. Oh, we ain't do nothing wrong. It's like reading is punishment.
right.
Punishment. And it's something else. They didn't get that, come up with that themselves. It's something that's infused into our psyches, like, you know, so we're trying to get away with not learning because like you know that's the trick, like to just like to not get in that process of, we don't look at it as a positive, as fun enjoyment. It's like, you know, it's almost like it's worse than work, like, you know, for whatever reason. So, you know, I was able to see that, and because I knew it in my heart, but I got to prove it empirically that way. Like I was like, you know, really, so it's more to this culture of poverty piece. And then, so that's a part of it. So I went to Lagos, and I got into genealogy. I've been in genealogy probably 20 years, and studying ancestry. I think that's life changing also.
Mm.
And attached to the psychology, and I know it's life changing because I had a group of brothers that was pretty much written off, and when they found their family, and we went to Memphis, Tennessee, when another spot was South Carolina, and in one other spot, and they found their families that they didn't know they had. It changed their life because they didn't really know their fathers, so they didn't know, like they just had no place, no ground, and that was like the what was causing them to act out pretty much. It's like, look, like if I don't care, I don't care, and I can make you feel that I don't care, and let you know what it feels like to feel what I feel inside, and there's more of that. Like it's a method to the madness when it comes to the violence and stuff. Like it's not just like it's not just savagery. It's like, nah, it's intentional because of what, like, it's like we don't have the capacity to hold on another generation of trauma. Because if you think about it, like the Middle Passage, right? We never healed. Middle Passage to slavery, 400 years of slavery. We never had a process of healing, right? So we kept all that happened, all the rapes, all the lynchings, all the families being sold and being chattel slavery. So not even being a human being for this time. Right. Post-Reconstruction Jim Crow, when slavery's supposed to end, now you have the black codes and Jim Crow laws and the lynchings and all this stuff that we dealt with. Civil rights era, the assassination of our leaders, hoses and dogs being sicked on our women and children. Then war on drugs, the school to prison pipeline, the prison industrial complex, the new Jim Crow. We've never had the opportunity to heal.
Right.
And now, like, you have the grandbabies of the war on drugs, like this crack era that sometimes we don't understand that it was a war waged on us. That was Hiroshima and Nagasaki for as a response to the Black Power movement, which was really the first organized slave revolt, truthfully. So that's what the response was, that we're going to show you. This is how we do it, basically. And, it was a biological war waged on us, was the crack epidemic. It wasn't something we just chose to, and sometimes we don't know. We think that we just entered into it, like, and it wasn't intentional. So we look, but still, so now the grandbabies of the crack era are the ones we talking about with the violence right now. But it's not, the history's not being put out. It's like we just got this group of violent children that we need to hold accountable for their violent acts. And that's the narrative. And the narrative is powerful. Like if we don't look at the narrative, we'll buy in too. Oh, get these savage children, not our children, get these savage children off the streets. Like we don't feel safe with them. And this is our children we talking about. So it's as we move into consciousness, so to speak, like it's like how do we frame these stories? Because if we look at our story in America, we can really see it as a story in America, and there's a set of stages, and we got to play roles on these stages that we're on, and so it's not so much the person, it's the role that they're playing on the stage. And when they leave that stage, like then they go to another stage, and you can check out these roles again, so because the roles may change, and the roles that we're provided is not but so many characters that we can play, like on these stages. Not this free, like, oh, you can choose your stage. Nah, you can't choose your stage, man. All kind of factors come into choosing it. So those are the pieces, man. It's hard to get us to see it. So I just released this this book, the Caterpillar's Web for Transformation, that is kind of a blueprint for healing and transformation. But that was supposed to be the second book. The first book, What It Means to Believe in Butterflies, is kind of, and that's going to come out soon. but that's I took us to the yellow brick road with this young brother and young sister, the young brother from DC, from Kenilworth, and the young sister from Baltimore, Sandtown. But they had this calling that from the multiverse, right? So if they can't prove that we're capable of unconditional love, then this these high priests from the multiverse are going to wipe out human beings, period. So, but nobody knows that is calling, right? So they go through whatever, like Hope, which is the girl, she goes through like group homes and stuff, moms and all kinds of stuff that she goes through. Manifest father gets locked up, police come in at hold the family at gunpoint, take the father to jail. He goes to all these different pieces, and but they're trying to protect him, but they don't know like that they had this calling, and they discover it. So they get this. So we transpose to the yellow brick road, and it's a yellow brick road for us, right? It's the land of wizards, and they're going to see the wizzo. They think he got the solution, right? And on the journey with them, we got Hannibal Barca, the African general that conquered Rome. We're on Alps. We got Shamu the killer whale, because I want us to know that, you know, if you can make a killer whale do tricks for fish, we got to understand what tricks we're doing. Like that's my basic program. We got Medusa, who was the true story. She was raped by Poseidon, and then sent to the dungeons because of Athena's jealousy, but she was raped by Poseidon and then vilified for being raped. Um, we got the Grinch that stole Christmas, man, and dealing with that trauma. Like, you know, it's a bunch of that community trauma piece wrapped up in his piece. And we have Rudolph and Hermie, because that red nose could be anything. Like, what you mean ostracized for, like, you know, and they have to help them heal on this journey. So we go through all of our trauma on this pathway, finding out that unlike Dorothy, who could click her heels and go home, because of past trauma, going home's not an option, because we're on the yellow brick road because home wasn't right because of the trauma. So when we try to click our heels, it's a nightmare. So we got to heal from this past trauma to be able to make home our sacred arm, like, you know what I mean? Like that what it's supposed to be, our sacred space is not, because it's been compromised. So that piece is what I'm really excited about. But so this one piece is kind of a blueprint to even understanding the language in this piece. But when Manifest and Hope go through their journey, then they have to come back. So the next one's going to be them. They're going to deal with drill music and some other stuff, because they got the Pied Pipers in it too. And the Pied Piper reveals that he's responsible for the drill music because he's been crossed so many times. So he's able to like send a frequency that we don't understand what the thing is. So like now they have to correct it. So they have to go back and and we have to create another vibration for us. And I think we need those kind of stories, man. We need heroes and sheroes that
Absolutely.
are coming back into our community to get, so we can get back our righteous minds, man, our righteous minds and our true essence of who we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I remember when Barack was going through the presidency and everything, there was this big talk because, you know, it kind of spurred the Black conscious, you know, debates and things like that in the media and whatnot. And they were talking about like, why can't y'all just leave it in the past? That happened like 50 years ago and whatnot. But like history repeats itself. You
That's
can't
right.
just leave it alone, especially like you were saying, those traumas and things that we went through, there was never any formal kind of healing. We didn't get any, you know, there was no therapy for us and everything. It was just like one day it was like, all right, y'all free.
Yeah, that's right.
Just
Exactly
left us.
right.
So
Yeah,
like definitely, like you said, those mythologies and stories like that, you know, presenting us in a different light and just expounding on the Black experience are very profound, and we need it for our youth, especially because, you know, the generations that are coming up, it's like we're more and more disconnected from the past, and that's like part of the method that they use in the normalized media and whatnot, mainstream media, to just disconnect us as much as possible, put new distractions in front of us. You know what I mean? And it's like
That's right.
even the stuff that's going on in our media today, like how, we can't, Black men and Black women can't get along with each other. We're having debates about how to have relationships.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
me, that's like, it's absolutely crazy because honestly, it's like we've done this for millions of years. So
yeah,
this should be ingrained in our psyche. But,
yeah.
we got to have these conversations. And, it's just your book. I was going to touch on that a little bit later, but I'm glad that you brought it up early. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Actually, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this.
Okay.
All right. So, next question I had for you was the motivation to create, the movement, the Love More movement, and transformative life coaches and healing leaders. Where,
Yeah.
I know you expounded upon your history and everything, but where did that come from? When did you start, you know, coming up with that idea and bringing it to fruition?
So with the transformative life coaches and healing leaders, that was probably about 12 years ago. And that evolved over time. At first it was TILT. It was transformational indigenous leaders training. And it started by needing to be intentional about building our brothers and sisters that from the land that they grew up on, wherever it was, like, because the problem was people, wherever you were, people came from the outside and tried to inform you on how, like, on the process that you were supposed to be in without understanding the story. So we were from the inside out, and that evolved over time. And it's like, really the coaching piece, because like mentor, the whole idea of mentor became so scientific almost. And if a mentor came up, we knew that the child had a problem, and the child knew that. Like, it's like, something's wrong with you because you have a mentor. And coach in our community, even in terminology, everybody respected the coach, no matter who you were. Like, oh, that's coach. Like, and coach, that was respected. Like, so it the idea of coaching made much more sense than mentoring. And with the coach, you're going to win. Like, the goal is to win. It's not just to exist, it's to win. Like, so that makes sense. So in coaching and transformation, because that's the other piece, man, because I really got into the metamorphosis period, but from shape shifting of the past, but the current piece of the caterpillar turned to the butterfly as the example of what's possible, what's possible in human life. So I was like, the caterpillar being the most vulnerable, like almost creature on the planet. Like, it's but intentional about transformation, what's possible. And and just thinking about it, I was like, wow, like, we we become almost as vulnerable in a sense mentally, like, even though we may not think we may think we're invincible, but really, like, as far as being able to tap into our divine gifts and activating what we're supposed to do on this planet in our lifetime. Like, our life energy is meant for something, like, and we might never get to it because we're surviving the whole time. And it's like, wow, like, what if we could use this metaphor to help ourselves see? Because even understanding like how we perceive a caterpillar before it becomes a butterfly, like, and I'm at 5,000 people now, man, that I'm asking, just would you kill a caterpillar if it was called a future butterfly? And 95% of the people are saying no, they wouldn't, they couldn't kill a caterpillar if it was called a future butterfly. So I say, so just by the name itself, the label, I'm like, dang. So I was thinking about us. I was like, yeah, you'll kill a nigga, you probably won't kill a brother.
Mm,
And,
absolutely.
just on name, just on
Absolutely.
name. Like, And if we knew we loved each other, and that's why the love piece is so important. Like, if we knew we loved each other, it'd be real hard to do harm if we knew that. So I'm like, shoot, like, so the wearable love piece is intentional. You know, making love cool, that's very intentional. It's like, nah, just by having that heart on, and it may trigger a subconscious piece like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I am, because in knowing, so being that what we've been through as a people, there's no way that our essence isn't love, isn't the common denominator of who we are. Because there's no way we could love by, being terrorized for like over 500 years. We
Absolutely.
still love, we even love our oppressor.
Absolutely.
We are love. Like, there's no way to get around it. Like this, and I'm sure like the other energy would never understand like how, because it's like how it's almost like the Who's in Whoville with the French piece. How could they be singing when we took their Christmas? How could they be singing?
Right.
So it's like that's who we are, man. It's not about that anyway, and we have to know that. So that was the inspiration for the entire piece, but a process for us. Like, so you could come in and go through a process where first you understand you're a miracle, that you're valuable enough to love and be loved, and you don't have to be an extra in your own movie, and you can forgive yourself, because whatever you went through in navigating past trauma in this country, it's a miracle you're here today. Glad you didn't kill yourself. I'm not going to judge anything you did. Okay, whatever it was, like it's a miracle that you're here today. So, and we got to drop it for judging each other, because we're so critical of ourselves and each other, and not understanding that like we've been in a war, we've been terrorized, like, so, and starting there and then releasing and then moving forward and knowing that we don't have to get permission to heal. We don't have to wait for anybody even to acknowledge our pain. Like, we can start our healing process. We don't have to go through anybody else to get back to us. And we think we do. Like, it's like, people get upset with me. A lot of our people, they're like, you gotta, I don't, man. Like, hey, I don't have to wait for them. I pray for them, those who don't, want to share humanity and stuff, because hey, I believe in a universal God that got it. Like, so I don't. Hey, look, man, if you know what I know, like, you want to get it together, man, because even I believe personally that this planet is a living planet.
Absolutely.
So you don't get to own it, but then nobody does.
Nobody.
So, like, if I'm a living body, I can't have anybody claim like, oh, I own the arm, rename my arm and rename my leg something else. And yeah, it makes sense. So I think we all have to atone. And this planet that sustains us, we have to submit and be like, thank you so much for sustaining us. Like, thank you, gravity. Without you, my feet will never hit the ground. Like, it's things much bigger than us. So that's what the piece is all about. It's like, I want us to see this another way. I want us to see our humanity. I want us to see this beautiful planet, this beautiful multiverse, man. I want to cut the neon lights out, and so you can see the beautiful sky. Like,
Yeah.
Vegas is no comparison to the beautiful sky, the beautiful stars in the sky, man. Okay, what they do, man, it's just not. So, and and that's my wish for us, man. That's liberate. I believe our freedom is our joy. So, we can't let anybody tap into that source of joy, man. That is our freedom, man, and it's our birthright to be there, man, to be in that state, man. So that's our journey to joy, man. It's like, we're not spending too much time identifying our triggers of trauma. We're identifying our triggers to joy in this piece. Because like we've been identifying the pain. If anybody knows pain in this country, it's us. Like, so we can identify the trauma. We can give it all kind of names we want to give it, but we know all about pain. We know about jail. We know about anything on that end. We know about it, man. What we don't know about is joy, man, and that, like, we have a birthright to be happy, man, and our children should be smiling, not because they're joning on somebody, but because they're inherently smiling, like.
Exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just resonating with the message you were talking about. And another thing, I always look at how, as oppressed as we are or as we've been, the people who oppress us, I often say, if you look into the media and things like that, our mannerisms, they just take it and they repurpose it.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we do, as much as they talk down on us and say we this and we that, you give it 2 weeks, they're doing the exact same thing that we've been doing. And it's like
Yeah, yeah.
we got that from just innately being us. It's like we
Hmm.
didn't have to go around searching here and there for that, but y'all are looking at us as much as you talking down on us and all that, and you still using our mannerisms like, oh, it's giving this. Like I look at these videos on Instagram and YouTube, and like these people are like saying it. They'll say it in the news, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, it's deep, man. That's so true, man. It's if only we could see it. Like, and the same way of, if Shamu knew as a killer whale that he or she could dive in the ocean and have all the fish that it wanted, like
Mm,
you would know like the ocean's not your home. But if you don't know that the ocean's not your home, your ass might be for a bigger pool and better fish. Like, not knowing, like, and that's what Marcus Garvey said. He said, though, um, a people without knowledge of self or history is like a tree without roots. And hey, man, like, it's that. Carter G. Woodson said it too, man. He said this education is miseducation. This is a miseducation process, miseducation of the Negro. In the book, he explained it all. He was our top educator. Went to Oxford, Harvard, came back and lived in D.C. And when he gave his summation of what he saw, they cut it off. It's like, why isn't that the Bible for us as far as educators? It's like, yeah, nah, it doesn't. He said that our communities, like the education we were receiving, was not preparing us to sustain our communities. Our best and brightest would go other places and work for other people, but we would lose our communities. And hey, that's where we're at. So it's like it's not a new message. We just have to understand, our greatness, our who we are, like on this planet, man, like and our value. And that's the thing, like if we can get Shamu to do tricks, if we want to take him as a child and educate him ourselves into the status quo. So, when we figure out like the money that they give us is just like the fish that they give us Shamu, and we doing tricks for fish. And we've had uh, groups, and I've had brothers and sisters in tears when we have the exercise of discovering what we've done for money that we wouldn't have done otherwise. Like, how much we've compromised about who we were for money, man. And it's like, wow, man, it's and we got to deal with that piece too. We have to deal with money because families, man, have broke up like with through inheritances and stuff, man. The money piece, man, it's like we don't know how to deal with it. We really don't.
live through it.
And we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, but so because of it, we can't go into business with each other because we don't trust somebody's gonna cuff the money. So it's like we can't move forward in this piece because and work together because we are so scared, man. This money piece. So yeah, man, thanks for this one, man. But it's even because you got me thinking about this. Like I gotta add a this money piece to this whole because we can't skip over it.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Bouncing the theories and, ideas off of each other.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. Another thing, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started. So, I wanted to talk about the healing stations because going through, researching about you and the transformative life coaches, the I read through it again, and you were talking about creating healing stations, And just the metaphor in that, what's the methodology behind that?
Yeah, we need a place in every community where we can walk into, will not be judged, whatever we going through, and it can heal. Like, we have cooling stations in the heat. We have warm stations in the cold. We got, places we can go where we can eat. But where do we go and heal? And that's what we need so much. I don't, whatever you're going, whatever you're going through. So I'm like that, the healing station piece, I wanted to be global, but I wanted to be in every community, like somewhere where, and we have facilitators in there that understand that we're not going to judge anybody for anything. Like, we welcoming, our brothers and sisters. Like, again, our premise is that you're a miracle. So we treat you like a miracle. We come through the door, like wherever you come through, like it's a miracle. Oh, we so glad you made it. Like let's see how we can help and get you together. So um I know that is needed. Like, I've seen the way served, like even the in again the language. So the case, you get a case number. So we're cases, and I'm like, so in language, like we're not cases. So we have care coordinators. So you have a care load and you're a love manager.
Okay.
Like, man, you're not a case manager and stuff like, so you change it up, like, and because we've in language, like you can disregard somebody because a case disregards your humanity.
Mm.
And you just like, oh, let me find your case. And it's like, oh man, like, and we'll lose it too, because I'll forget you're my brother or you're my sister, because in my role, again, we're on a stage now, and I took this role, and the role I'm playing on the stage, and this is I cast it for a paying part. So in that, I got to view you as a case. And, so to drop those pieces, we need something else. And that was the healing station piece. And I wanted to expand it. And also treating people as the medicine, not the patient. So when we're building people, we're building the medicine, like, and that's what's going to actually heal our community. And, because, you're not going to get the vaccine without touching the virus. So when the people become the vaccine and they're perceived that way, then we can treat them differently. Back to the caterpillar butterfly piece. No, they're future butterflies. We're not going to even use the term caterpillar. Like, we just got future butterflies that we're dealing with.
Right.
Aren't you excited about what they're going to look like, when they're flying, like, what the colors are going to be, and we had to do it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something else I saw, it said, let's not even talk about hate anymore. Let's turn
Yes.
the station to love. And that's
Yeah.
what I love, the analogy of the healing station, because it was like something that just clicked in my head. I was like, wow, that is profound. That's very
Yeah. Yeah.
profound. So as far as what are you working on right now? What are you bringing to the people right now?
Yeah. So, the campaign, you just said it, is turn the station. If and yeah, everybody seems to get it, because it's like, okay, if you start with like, okay, if you get in your car and you don't like what's playing, what do you do? If you sit in your favorite chair in your house and you don't like what's on, what do? You say, wait, you turn the station.
Right.
So why don't we have the power to turn the station in our own lives and our families and our communities? If we don't like what's playing, so what does that mean? So that's the piece. And to do it, we have to heal, because the learned helplessness piece, the study with the dog, they shocked the dog's paws, and the dog couldn't escape. And over time, the dog stopped trying to escape, and they took the walls down. Even the dog could have just walked off of the electric shock, and the dog didn't even walk off. And I'm like, the agency piece, when you don't believe anymore that you have the power to change your destiny, you stop trying and you just start self-medicating, which we call the social hospice. When you sedated and as comfortable as you can be and sedated and there's no change, that's a hospice. So I'm like, the social hospice, if you're not changing stuff, like, and we sedation is a norm with us. Like, it's a norm. It's not a libation. It's a part of everyday life. Like, so it's like, I know young brothers and sisters, man, they gotta smoke before they go to school, or they won't go. They won't go, man. It's like, they gotta be sedated in this whole experience. So it's like, that's how negative the experience is. So that's the piece to change the channel, like to a frequency where, you want to have your faculties involved. Like, the higher your faculties, the, more electric your experience is, if you love your experience. If you don't love life, man, then it's like, yeah, I want to numb myself to it.
Right.
And while any drug, like, so then now they're responding to the opioid crisis. And and I get it. But I'm like, y'all missing the point again, because it's not so much the drug itself, whatever it is, it's the idea that there's a demand to escape this reality, even if it means death.
Right.
That's
Right.
how bad I feel. So it's like, you got to go in and deal with the other side of it. Like, it's not so much like, well, we're gonna not gonna make it available, but people still, like, that's why suicide's high. Like, it's like people are giving, they're like, look, I don't want to be here anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm sorry. Like, I know it's gonna hurt people and stuff, but I don't want to be here no more. Like, I'd rather not be here. And I'm hearing so much of that. But I get it though. It's like, I get it. Like, but let's go through a process and know that it's something else for you in this life. That's another narrative. There's another narrative for you that was meant for you that you haven't tapped into yet. So give yourself a chance with that one. And then, what I mean? Like, hey, like, but I'm betting that it's gonna be a different, you're gonna have a different whole feeling about life and yourself. Like, once you tap into that narrative, like, and I think, most people, like, they respond positively to just being listened to not being, like, treated like, because I revealed to you that I really don't want to be here. You've gone into a whole nother mode. Now you're not even listening to me anymore. Like, you've gone into emergency mode, but you really don't care about me though. You don't even know me to care about me. Again, I'm a case now, and you got to keep me alive. And you're not even listening to what I'm saying. And that's where we at, man. So, um, our movement, like, so the love more movement is, and I like that everybody gets that. You say, oh, love more. Oh, oh yeah, love more. Oh, I get it. Yeah, because already that's what it is. It's like, whatever's happening, that's a solution. You're not gonna go wrong by loving more, whatever's going on. Like, that's gonna help this situation. Then, and we can work at it from there. So we want to blast that. I got like 5 books I want to get out. And that's what's happening now. Like, we have the Journey to the Heart, another piece for the caterpillar. This whole thing of transformation. The Love More bug is for children, and that's going to be a really deep piece. I think that's going to be the biggest. But the Love More bug. So in the book, the what it means to believe in butterflies, Medusa goes through her healing process, and Lumacarius is the high priest of the multiverse. He takes her, and the snakes, they come, all of them come alive, and they start vomiting trauma, right? Then the sky opens up, and these 7 dragons eat the trauma, and then spit it back in flames, and then the snakes turn to caterpillars. And all these caterpillars turn to the most beautiful butterflies you ever seen in this butterfly garden, except one. And this one is the Love More bug. And Manifest and Hope are going to bring this back, this magical caterpillar. Like, so when children are going through stuff, when the Love More bug comes, it takes away all their pain, and they know they'll be all right. And we're going to make like a stuffed animal also that has a stress ball at the end of it that they can hold. And it'll be a children's book. Like, so parents could read the story and, to their children, like, about, like, it's going to be okay. The Love More bug is going to, like, it's going to get better for you. Like, and so I think that, that one, especially coming out of Medusa's pain. So the birth of this this healing entity, like coming out of our trauma is kind of the point. Like, the best times of our lives await us. Like, we've been through the fire. Like, this was the fire. This was the test. Like, if we trust love right now, we're showing that, like, really, like, through whatever, we still remain like true to the true essence and origin of our existence, which is love. So I'm excited about that because I would have for the children too, like, and I see even with the children with terminal illnesses and stuff, having a love more bug and being able to know, like, look, like, whatever you're going through, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. I'm definitely the way you explained it just now. I'm excited for it too. Spread that.
Yeah.
I was looking through the book that you have out now a little bit with one of your graduates from the life program and everything, and I definitely was like, "Yo, I'm about to get me a copy," especially
Cool, man.
this dude.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely loving everything that you're putting out. I'm glad that you got more books because I'm an advocate reader. Like I have
Oh,
so many books. I don't have time for all of them, but they just keep piling on. So,
yeah.
yeah, for sure. So as far as adversities, let's talk about adversities. What adversities have you faced in creating and getting the Love More movement's message to our people?
Man, across the board, uh, it was said I couldn't use love, like, by the industry, so to speak, of human services is like, if it's not smart, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based, like, you can't measure it, you can't use it. And so I was discouraged the entire process that, love's not going to work. And so it's been that's why it's been so long. And I'm glad, like, I'm glad that it took that long. And because it's like, I get an opportunity to go through the learning that I need to go through to even understand what I'm doing. And even with the
Dr. Bruce, you still there? I think we might have the audio might have dropped. 1 second. Just sorry, I
Yeah, I
don't know
can
what happened.
can hear you the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what happened, but we
Yeah,
back
yeah.
back in full effect. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Of love, being discouraged to use love because love, it was said that you can't measure love, and actually I can only use love as a modality. And I'm glad I stuck with it, uh, because it's like, love is the biggest protective and risk factor. If love happens the right way, it's a force field for anything you may do that derail you. Now, if it happens the wrong way, you kind of looking for love in all the wrong places. So it's like, either way, like, love is extremely important. It was also, the Love More brand. I was really told that, oh man, straight men not gonna wear hearts and stuff, like, is too soft. And now, like, like I say, like, it's like, it's the idea of not understanding who we are. Like, and I'm like, no, I can't listen to the outside influence, especially when I know the intention is not even, because you know yeah, I want to be okay financially, but I don't do this to make money. Like, I want the books to say, I want the message. It's like, it's about legacy. It's not really about, like, the money take care of itself. So, but people, it's hard for them, like, to see past that. Like, oh, you sabotaging your, you could be doing this or you could be doing this. And I'm like, that's not my divine calling to do that, man. Like, so that's been the kind of piece, man. Like, um it's been so inspiring with us, the people, because we want it, and that's what I thought, that's what I hope. So like now we really start the classes in January. We, want the classes now. Come on, can we start now? Like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. Like, I wanted to be that because I want to be something we want to do. Like, and that's why I don't even say like the word people say, oh, the work. I say, no, the building. This isn't work for me, it's building for me. Like, it's not, oh yeah, I see you doing the work. No, I'm doing the building. We're building. And it's different. Like, it's different, even like in the language, like back to the caterpillar and the future butterfly. The building piece, man, aren't you excited about something you're building versus the work you doing? Like, yeah, work is for somebody else. Building is for us, you know? So yeah, that's been the piece, man. And now like it's like I'm so clear now, I can't even see any barriers. Like this going global. Like, I'm talking to the brothers in Southern Ontario, brothers and sisters now, like going to Canada, and we're already in Ondo State, Nigeria, and we got an invitation to Ghana. Like, so hey, we're gonna triangle back, man. We're going straight, freedom, man, and liberation, and
Oh,
we're going to enjoy doing it, man. So it's not, so it's about like, the trauma. This is about the love and the healing and the joy, peace, man. Like, and we're releasing past trauma. We're not embracing it. Like, we're not wearing it on our sleeve. Like, oh, I want you to know about my pain. Like, and no shade on anybody that has to reveal how much pain they in. Because I don't want to take it away because I've been accused of that, and I get it. Like now, because I was like, so now I don't throw no shade on that because as people say, look, I need to be able to talk about my pain. Don't take that away from me, because a lot of us feel like we've never been able to even articulate the pain that we've been going through. So now, like, so the trauma informed piece, look, at least I can talk about the pain. Don't take it away. I'm like, okay, I want you to have it, but I don't want you to keep it. Like, I don't want you to keep it, but I get it though. So I can't, and now like I've kind of evolved to the point of being I accept that there's a pathway to get to the point where you can start releasing the language of pain and healing and trauma, and we can start just embracing the language of love and healing and joy and transformation, man. So that's where yeah, man.
absolutely. Absolutely. So staying on that, just briefly, when you face difficulties in general, or when life presents you obstacles for you to overcome, how do you handle it?
Hell, man, I thank God for him. Truthfully, I'm like, thank you so much for allowing me to be in my calling. So this is a part of it. Thank you for this. Like I know this too shall pass,
Mhm.
and I'm embracing it, man. I've come to the point that the darkness and the light is both beautiful, but we transform in darkness to light. But I don't, man, I don't discard it. I'm like, hey, man, yeah, you beautiful too, like, So, and you know, pain. Sometimes pain, I don't want pain, but it's a part of life. So, but I know that, I know light and darkness cannot occupy the same space at the same time. And you can't destroy energy, you can only transform it. So I'm like, so hey, we transforming the pain into something else. And that may be a problem. Who knows what that looks like, but it's gonna be beautiful. It's another cocoon. There's always room for another cocoon, man. It's gonna be another birth of another butterfly until I'm not, even in physical. And I know like when my physical existence ends, then that's gonna be another cocoon and another butterfly. Like, so I'm like, really I'm there now. I wasn't always there, but I'm there now, man. Everything's a blessing, man. Like, it's nothing that's not a blessing as far as I'm concerned, man. And I forgive everybody, like, so it's like, whereas before, like, even holding resentment, I don't want any resentment, man. Like, it's like, I forgive everybody. Look, man, so, and whatever it was, man, like, hey, we can release that and let's get it right. And so I'm there, man. I committed to enjoying life, man. I'm committed to enjoying life, man. And period. Phenomenal moments with phenomenal people, period. There don't have to be nothing else. Like if we can't do a phenomenal moment, then okay, this moment's not for us, but no shade. But I'm just doing phenomenal moments with phenomenal people, man.
Sure, for sure. You know what I mean? That pill of anger, that pain holding on to it. Somebody might do something to you, but
Yeah,
holding on to that anger doesn't do nothing but destroy you more. So that
that's
person
right.
might have forgot about it. They did something, in the moment to you, gone about their life, not thinking about you no more, but you holding on to it in the back of your head, just
Yep,
festering. And all it does, like emotions have, they have physiological effects on our bodies.
that's
So,
right.
if we not, transmuting that, turn it into something positive, like you said, turning the dark into light,
Yeah,
it doesn't do nothing but end up killing us quicker.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
You know?
That's right, man. And hey, man, I wish I knew it earlier, but I'm glad I know it now, man, because it's is life is meant to be beautiful, man, and so I look for even things like I don't agree with. I know it's something in it for me. It's something where before I would have just disconnected. Like I'm, not, it's some this moment has something for me. Like in even though I don't agree with what's being said, and carry it like that, man. Believe there's no right or wrong. Because I can only share my truth. And I know that because things I believe to be true 5 years ago, a lot of those things I only believe today. So even when I said myself and believe it today, like it's like, it's not. So all I can share with you is my truth today. And I don't negate anybody else's, man. That's just your truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Time will tell and time you'll learn.
That's
So,
right.
so what does the future have in store for you and the Love More movement?
Hey, these healing stations going global, being ambassadors for love on the planet, like love being cool. We we're looking at open up factories in both Ghana and Nigeria, making a lot more clothes and the brand and stuff. So, and we have brothers and sisters that are excited. They're already excited just to be doing that. Like that's the gig. And you know, breaking bread with them, honestly, is the piece that is normally doesn't happen. But we giving everybody what they're supposed to get because that's how we do life. And I already know what it's going to do to the village. And and they can be excited about it, and we know, like we all breaking bread together, like and so that's those are next pieces, and taking the life coaching piece global also, like
Okay. All right. So, you expounded on some places. Well, what regions has the movement touched so far?
so definitely Chicago, North Carolina in Americas, like, and of course the DMV, um, Canada with Southern Ontario, Canada, Nigeria, uh, a little Congo. Like, and we got some serious work to do in Congo, man. It's major conflict. Uh, um, just built in South Carolina, and we're gonna start a seniors offer unconditional love there. They want to start a senior movement piece, and so we're gonna do that in South Carolina. So we it's only expanded, but most prominent in the DMV. Chicago is going to be I think another hub and home for us, like, and definitely Nigeria and Ontario. And we gotta get our first retreat. So we were gonna on our first, like, so the Hill Station retreat where you can get about house about maybe 20 to 30 people, and you could come to the spot and just lock in and heal. In the vision, I can see like kind of African huts, modernized, but the view of African huts when you come in, the ritual circles, the garden, the organic garden, the the whole piece, man. Just like our kind of, and we often talk, and you see in the next book, what it means to believe in butterflies, the new Garden of Eden. And New Garden of Eden might also be in this. I think it is the caterpillar's web. The idea of the new Garden of Eden being the home base, like and that being kind of our model. Like when you have developers model communities, like so the new Garden of Eden ends up being spaces for us to heal and everything organic, fresh air, like that vibration, naming ceremonies for the community. So now when somebody comes in and moves in, we have a naming ceremony for the home. So we know the vibration of the home. So when your children going to hope, your children going to resilience, your children going to love, and just the vibration. Where how your community is being represented and stuff. So those divisions, man, like, and I can see it in my head, man. And I know everybody wants it. Like, most people want it. It's a small group of greedy, manipulative people, that energy on this planet, they don't get to win. Like, and I don't know why we feel we have to vote for them, or we're so subjected to that we need them to lead this. Like, but it could be shown by us doing it, coming together and creating what we want. Like, we have our school board that we want, we develop our curricula that, and our children are under, we have everything else. Like we can create that piece and replicate it. That energy catches on, and then before you know it, it's more people that are vibrating with love and shared humanity. Then people wanting to move there. Like, I want to move where they're doing that at. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Like, So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's next, man. That's where we're going, man. And I plan the next 5 years to be in an RV, traveling the country, and just doing this, man.
Yes, sir. That's what's up. Getting around the country, spreading the message,
Exactly.
new people, getting out there further and further, loving more. I'm loving it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, wind down, getting down to the end. We've had a very good conversation. I definitely appreciate you and thank you for coming and giving us your time. I know you're a busy man. Um, just a couple more questions, like how can like-minded individuals reach you and be a part of the movement?
Uh, Definitely email me at Dr. Bruce, Bruce at lovemoremovement.org. Uh, get to us through the website, lovemoremovement.org. Call me 202-486-3580. Like, yeah, and just join, like, and understand that no criteria of joining is just being committed to healing, man, and supporting each other in that vibration of love. And even if you're not there, still come on board. Like, no judgment, man. Come on board if you want to see like what the journey looks like and stuff. You say, I don't really know about it, but I just want to, like, come on in. Like, come on in. Like, it's and we are, like, we're for shared humanity. Everybody who's for shared humanity, man. Like, we have so many similarities that, it doesn't make sense that we would find the few differences that we share and then just hone in on that. Like, of all, maybe we got 72 trillion cells inside of our bodies, man. Like, it's like, dang, like, that's what makes us human, man. So, we're for that, man. So yeah, definitely, like, reach out, we'll get back with you and let you know. And, like, if you want to do a life coaching class, like whatever it is, let us know, and we'll connect.
Okay. All right. And I'll make sure that I add all, your links and contact information in the description box and in the article so that everybody can have access to you. It'd be real simple and easy if you want to reach out to Dr. Bruce, no problem. And then how can we start to love more from where we are right now?
I think knowing that healing is a possibility, number one, like forgiving yourself or however you navigated past trauma. And so I think that's the beginning, and knowing that you're a miracle, like knowing that you're a miracle. And that's what stops most people. It's like I, well, what I've been through is so much different, so, so much different, or people won't understand, or either I'm just not able to trust enough to share. All that's okay on the front end. So, but just know, like, release it on the front end, and just know that healing is a possibility. The nightmare doesn't have to continue. And it is a difference between thriving and surviving. And I think that the first part of it, like wherever you at, like that's the first piece, man. Just know, like, dang, it's me too, man. I'm a part of this this family, whether I know it or not. And I have a big family, and I might not know it. And even though I might not trust them off the top because I've been led not to be able to trust, we're gonna bring you in another way. And we consider you family already. So I think that's the first piece. So, it's whenever you're ready, knowing it's okay that you're not, even knowing that, never no shame. It's okay that you're not, and wherever you are.
Sure. So everybody out there, remember, you heard it first here. We are all family. Stay connected, you know what I mean? You got love in places that you didn't even know existed. So, but first of all, it's right here. It's in yourself. But definitely, like Dr. Bruce said, you got a family out here. You big is part of a bigger community. So, any final thoughts for the people, Dr. Bruce?
Hey, man, love wins. That's the big one. Know that love wins, man. Like at the end of it all, love wins. So if you were trying anything else, anybody who was trying anything else, it's just not going to be successful, man. Like you can't remove darkness with darkness. It doesn't. Like, you can't come at hate with hate. You just get more hate. It doesn't work. Love is what wins. Like love wins. Love has the power to transform every other energy. It's just made that way. That's the trump card. Like love is the trump card. Like, so that's it, man. I mean, that's the big message, man. And that, really um we're excited about connecting with our people, like, man, and we're excited about creating this our new Eden, man, our new Eden, man, where we're gonna vibrate and understanding that we love each other.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Dr. Bruce Purnell, thank you so much for chiming in with us here at the Phoenix Paradigm. It was a pleasure having you, having this discussion. It really was very insightful for me. I got to learn a lot. I always love to hear from my elders and, people who are doing great from the community, and love to share that message and bring it back to our people because, like we said, we really got to change that station. We got to change the station, change it to love. And then,
That's right.
something that very much sticks with me. And I appreciate you so much. Love you a lot. Thank you, sir. And
Love you back, brother. Thank you too, man. Appreciate you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I would say, if you want to connect with Dr. Bruce, everything will be in the description box. I'll post it, you can read the article, everything will be in there as well. The website, his email, his phone number, just reach out like he said, even if you ain't completely sold on the dream or the vision, rather, because we going somewhere, we're bringing it to fruition, we're building. But if you ain't completely sold on it, stay tapped in. You need it for your consciousness, and we're here to bring it to you. So, signing out, say, like my dear Dr. Bruce Purnell would say, love like you've never been hated. And I'll say, all power to the people.
All right. Love more, brother.
Love more. Okay.